Sleep with a big DJ or an athlete or an actor, and they start believing that is their baseline for who they're going to date. And what happens is now they have this unrealistic expectation because they don't realize that there's one of him and there's millions of these girls.
One of the most toxic expectations women have of men is expecting a man to relate to his feelings.
Okay, but so you want a man that's above average. You want him to have a big dick. You want him to have a lot of money, but then you want him to only be faithful to you. Do you see how that don't make no sense?
The fellas are in overdrive. The fellas are in overdrive trying to convince women that their expectations are too high. They're unrealistic. They don't deserve this. They don't deserve that. And it's looking crazy. Like, y'all are out here looking bad, dude. I ain't gonna even hold you.
Sleep with a big DJ or an athlete or an actor, and they start believing that is their baseline for who they're going to date. And what happens is now they have this unrealistic expectation because they don't realize that there's one of him and there's millions of these girls. I've had absolutely girls come to me and say, yeah, I was dating so-and-so. And I'm like, no, you weren't. Yeah. I literally know this dude's girl. Like, I know him. I was at his house with his girlfriend. You are not dating him.
Yeah.
You get to every once in a while when he's not busy. And the problem is, here's what happens. The next guy who comes along has to live to that standard. And she's in this relationship with this new guy. And then like superstar guy calls her and she's whoop up here. You see what I'm saying?
Because she's just like, this,
What happens is for men, we don't imprint. We just like, if a woman is famous and hot or not famous and hot, we still think she's hot. For women, because status plays such a huge part in it, a lot of times they'll get to the point where they've imprinted with so many men, they can't imprint with the man that they're supposed to be with. And then as soon as something goes wrong, they're out. And 78% of divorces are initiated by women.
He just made that number up. It's 68%. But again, rinse and repeat. Same stuff, different day from these men in a different font, right? So a few things that I found uninteresting about this clip. A, why are you talking about women who sleep with celebrities? Like, what percentage of women are sleeping with celebrities? First and foremost. So let's just start there. Like, obviously, we're not talking about the average woman, but you're framing it as if we're talking about the average woman, right? It's like, oh, women believe this and men believe that. The average woman isn't sleeping with celebrities. The average man isn't sleeping with a woman. So there's that. Secondly, why are you mad at the women who do have this expectation of once they sleep with a celebrity, they always expect to get celebrity treatment? Whatever it is, how does that hurt you? Why are you concerned with that? You guys are so weird. Like, leave it alone, bro. Stop trying to curb women's enthusiasm. Stop trying to curb their expectations. It has nothing to do with us. They expect more. Leave those women alone. Stop trying to get with those women. There are plenty of women who will get with a man like you and be perfectly fine. Right?
Okay, but so you want a man that's above average. You want him to have a big dick. You want him to have a lot of money, but then you want him to only be faithful to you. Do you see how that don't make no sense?
Why does not?
How doesn't that make sense? What the fuck? So basically, if a man is above average, he shouldn't be faithful to any woman because he's above. What is that? How are those two things connected?
Hold on, I'm gonna choke.
Yeah, tell us why it doesn't make sense.
Why that don't make sense?
Okay, it doesn't make sense for the same reason y'all want to be respected for fucking a lot of men and you still want respect. Like a man who can fuck a lot of women and get respect. The difference is sex comes so easy for y'all, it's not respected.
What? Bro, what? What are you talking about? That doesn't, what did you, so he didn't even have a reason why he said that. He's literally just trying to say shit to go viral. Like, that has to be the case, right? He didn't even have a reason to say that. Those things didn't connect at all. Not even a little bit.
Then that comes easy is not respected. It has no value. If anybody could get it or anybody could do it, it's valueless.
What woman is looking to be respected because she slept with a lot of dudes? Men want to be respected because we've slept with a lot of women. Women aren't looking to be respected because they slept with a lot of guys. I'm not like, that's not the thing they're looking to gain validation from. is by sleeping with a lot of guys. They don't do that and then go out here and say, I've slept with a lot of guys and hoping that they get validated by somebody. They know that they're not going to get validated by society. Men, on the other hand, we do that. Why are you, what? The projection is crazy.
This is why Lamborghinis are marked at what they're marked at, because not anybody can afford it. Matter of fact, they're so valuable, they don't even have commercials, because only the small percentage of people who work so hard to create so much success to be able to afford it, they know where to go to get it. The average broke motherfucker, they don't, what's the point of you seeing a commercial? They don't even need you to see it. The people who could afford it can afford it. The average woman has the same sexual pull as a male celebrity. So for me,
that I agree with. I've said that many times. The average woman does, like, no doubt about it. The average woman can sleep with damn near any man on the planet that she, like, I'm not even playing. I've said this a million times. If the average woman walked in a bar and there were 10 men in the bar, I don't care what their relationship status was. All 10 cishead men, you line them up. She went to each one and was like, come across the street. I got a hotel room or whatever. Let's hunch in the backseat of this van or whatever. I don't give a fuck. 10 out of 10. Every now and again, you're running to a man that's going to be like, okay, I got a wife. I got a, you know what I'm saying? I got a wife. I got a girlfriend, whatever. But 10 out of 10, most of the nights that she going to be able to do that.
Or that.
But here's the thing though. But if you flip that around, you walked into a room, like a room of just like average women. If a celebrity man, if a man walked in there, even a celebrity was like, I want to sleep with like 10 women. I don't think that they would be able to sleep with all 10 of those women. Even if there were 10 single women, even if 10 single women, right? All age groups, whatever. They walk in a famous man, very attractive celebrity man. Like, I'm setting the scene. Denzel, I don't give a fuck. Whoever it is, Jason Momoa, right? Lenny Kravitz, whoever them, you pick the man. He walks in a room. There's 10 women, 10 average women, right? Not women that be stargazing and chasing after celebrities, not those women. Just 10 women. You walk in a room. None of the, I would bet you none of the women in a relationship is going to sleep with the man. So let's remove half of those, half of the women. Now you're down to 5 women. Maybe 2 of them will do it. Maybe 3. 10 women. Like, honestly, like you. So I think average women have more pull than even celebrity men do, because here's the thing. It's not about the women. It's about the men. It's not about, it's not that the men are so attractive. It's that the men are easy when it comes to women sleeping with us. It's our character. It's not the woman's character. That's not what it is. So I think average women have even more pull than a celebrity, to be honest with you.
The average guy, to get the same amount of options of females that y'all get of dick, he would have to be rich and a celebrity. Mm-hmm. Literally. Like, if we open your DMs or we open her DMs, unlimited options. Y'all can go on Instagram right now.
My wife could sleep with more dudes than Drake can sleep with women. My wife, if my wife were single and that's what she wanted to do, she could sleep with more dudes than Drake could ever, you know what I'm saying? Like literally what I'm saying. Corn stars, literally, there are corn star women who put an ad in a thing and 700 men show up to sleep with the one woman in one day.
Go on damn near any man's page, go to his story and just put the eyes. You don't even got to talk. Just put the eyes. And you probably can fuck him that night. What percentage of men you think can, no, but I'm saying, what percentage of men do you think can do that and have any woman want to sleep with him?
But this goes against your original point, sir. Your original point was, why would a man who is above average be faithful? Right? Because, and then you went into this weird conversation. Because you didn't even know why you made that comment. It was dumb. You were trying to go viral. But here you are. But let's put those two things together. Then wouldn't it mean that the women should actually not be faithful to the men? Like, here's what you guys don't ever understand about women, right? Since women have all of these options, but they are more pragmatic when it comes to their approach when it comes to sleeping with men, right? That actually shows, like, if a woman can sleep with, 90% of the population, but she only sleeps with 0.0001% of the population. But men want to sleep with 90% of the population, but they only sleep with 0.001% of the population. Who is better? Who has more? Whose morals are better? Who has more respect for themselves? Women. So when you say that you want to, he contradicted himself. I just clocked it right now. He said you want an above average man, but you want him to be faithful because he has all of these options. But then he says an average woman has more options than a fucking celebrity. So why would the average woman be faithful to the man? That don't make no sense. If that's all it's rooted in is how many options you have, then why would the woman ever be faithful to an average man? You just blew your whole argument up.
I know niggas that do. I know.
No, you know niggas, but out of how many, if we have 10 niggas in this room, how many of them niggas you think can do that and pull that off?
Not many. And that's only because I feel like it gotta be in you and not on you. Like a lot of people don't know how to move like that.
Look, we can have a woman in here right now, 230, 250 pounds. She can have the same amount of sexual options as Chris Brown. Now take a man that's broke, 250 pounds. How many sexual options you think he got?
He got a few.
Zero.
They just own his
Zero.
They just own
Zero.
But whose fault is that? That's just women. This is what I'm saying. You guys try to shame women for their standards. This is what I'm saying. You're trying to lower women's thing. You're like blaming the women, like, oh, he has zero options because of women. No, what? That goes all the shit that y'all. Here's what I'm saying. How dare men call women hoes? That's all I'm saying. How dare y'all run around calling women just like colloquially, just calling women hoes, calling women bitches, disrespecting women when you are saying right now women's standards are too high and they don't give many men options. They're not options for many men. So why not put some respect on their fucking name then?
This is why it's not respected from y'all, because from the time you're like 12 to the rest of your life, guys are trying to fuck you every day. Anytime a man said, oh, how you doing today? He thought about fucking you. He just hoped you answered friendly enough for him to get enough courage to speak to you, try to get your number, to try to fuck.
I agree with everything he's saying about men. I agree with. Like, I ain't gonna lie. He's spot on about the men. But A, he blew up his whole point. And B, he's trying to act like this is the fault of women because their expectations are too high.
Fuck you. Most guys, women don't speak to them at all. Ever.
And you could tell the ones that don't get no attention.
And that's them niggas.
They be lame as fuck.
Marrying they tricks.
Okay.
He is trying to say these women are crazy and delusional. Trying to say women are crazy and delusional. How, sir?
No, because okay.
I mean that's the tricks. Marrying they hoes.
Okay, so let me put it this way, right? So a lot of people that we know and we look up to, they be tricking, and that's how they got the girl. Like if you think about it, that's just how it be operating. If you got a lot of money, you gonna trick it off on the girl, and you can get the girl. That's the way society made it. I didn't make this up.
Society didn't make it like that. Men made it like that.
It's just been like that.
No, I'm not mad at it, but men understand.
You sound mad at it. You sound like you're literally talking shit about it. You're like, oh, these men, they got these options and these women. You're calling the women delusional. You want the women to lower their standards. What?
For you to be valued, you have to have something of value to offer. Money.
So it's women's fault that women are just valuable? That women are so valuable that they have access to every fucking man on the planet?
Status, power, that's what women look for. They will overlook looks, the big dick, and all of that bullshit if you have the money and the power.
Not all women, because if you ugly and I don't like nothing.
Women will still deny a motherfucker. Period, man.
About you, I can't be with you.
What Jay-Z said, ain't no such thing as an ugly billionaire. I'm cute. Fuck you mean? I got
Women want a man that's 6 foot with a 6-pack, making 6 figures, but they ain't even got $6,000 in the bank. Probably got 6 kids.
But sir, I thought you didn't care about a woman's money. Last time I checked, I thought we didn't care. So again, you are shaming women who don't have $6,000 in the bank and got 6 kids. Why are you shaming? Why are you guys trying? If you believe this is true about these women, listen to what I'm saying. So you're saying that there are women out here who have 6 kids and don't got $6,000 in the bank, but they want a man that's 666. Okay. Why are you mad at, why do you care if those women want that type of man? Do you want that woman? Are you mad because that woman ain't giving you like that? Isn't that crazy? You're trying to shame the women who you want access to? Like, this is so wild to me. That's clearly what it is. You know, hey, like I said, you know the women don't have that, but let's just say they do. You want access to that woman because why else would you talk bad about her? It doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. That's crazy. The men's get mad. This is what they start saying.
You ask me, where have all the good men gone? And they exist. They're everywhere. But
how many of them have you dated? You give off the vibes as you dated a few. I ain't gonna lie. But how many men have you dated though?
You ask me, where have all the good men gone? And they exist. They're everywhere, but they're hiding from you.
He know where to find them, girl. Oh my God, y'all walk right into that joke every time. Like, stop saying this. This is goofy shit, bro. You on goofy time.
But they're hiding from you. They're isolating themselves. They've alienated themselves from you. And it's because they're tired of being dragged on social media by you. They're tired of their value and their worth and their importance in this world being questioned and diminished by you.
By men.
They're tired of having to meet unrealistic expectations and standards imposed on them by
men.
You.
By men. Women don't put unreal expectations on men. Women's standards for men are in the depths of where the kraken live. Wherever the kraken live, that's where the expectations for men are. That, like, they're that deep into the earth. Like, wherever you can find a kraken, that's where they're at. That's it. Women are not shitting on men. Women don't shit on us enough. and they do it. And mind you, women are doing that, I think, for their safety. You know what I'm saying? Because men are, you know, a little crazy. But yeah, women don't shit on us enough. We deserve more. We deserve much more, much more, without a doubt.
Well, he should be a certain height. He should make a certain amount of money. He should bring X, Y, and Z to the table. They're tired of having to audition for you, perform for you. And so they're relying on themselves. They're encouraging and supporting each other.
They're not.
No longer relying on you for these things. So you're asking me where the good men have gone. Well, they're here. They exist. But you have to start acknowledging their worth, their importance. You have to start acknowledging their humanity and celebrating them the same way you want them to celebrate you.
So he said men are, you know, building these communities, but where? But where? Friendship decline more pronounced amongst men. Now, back in the 90s, you see 40% of men had 10 or more friends. That's crazy, by the way. That's crazy, right? And it dropped for everybody. Don't get me wrong. It dropped for men and women. Social media played a big role. But if you look at every single metric, women are doing better than men in at every single one, except for, again, the 10 or more friends, which who the fuck needs 10 or more friends? But 15% of men have no close friends in 2021, whereas only 10% of women did. 8% of women had one friend, only 6% of men did. 12% of men had 2 friends, 14% of women did. 16 for 3 for men, 17 for women, 9% for 4 friends for men, 12% for women, 14 about the same. And yeah. So men are doing worse when it comes to fostering relationships and friendships with men. The whole loneliness epidemic is a real thing, right? We know that men are the cause of it, but it is a real thing. Men are isolating themselves due to their lack of interest in becoming better human beings and whole human beings and seeing women as human and seeing themselves as human. But to get up on to Beyonce's internet and say that men are leaving women alone and fostering healthy relationships with other men is just a fucking lie. It's a joke. Everybody knows it's not true. It's not happening. Especially when you talk about younger men, like 18 to 30, not happening. Not happening at all. Not a real thing. Stop saying stuff like that. And lastly, get out the world's tiniest violin for this gentleman. He's about to cry us a fucking river.
One of the most toxic expectations women have of men is expecting a man to relate to his feelings. Not gonna happen. With the culture that we live.
Why wouldn't a man relate to his own feelings? What? Relate to his own? I swear you guys don't be, you guys literally just say stuff. Like, go back to school, man. Seriously, that dumb. Doesn't make any sense.
His feelings. Not gonna happen. With the culture that we live in right now, men are not allowed to have feelings. So why expect that?
Because men need to develop emotional stability and emotional maturity. Yeah, I get it. Society, men are dealing us a bad hand and telling other men not. And this here, I'm so glad he's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. He's a man. Essentially, he is basically saying it's okay for men to not be able to express themselves in a healthy way. And he's telling women, just get over it, as opposed to telling men, hey, men, you should learn how to express yourself in a more healthy way. Like, here, there you go. Like, imagine, I don't care. This is me. Let's talk about racism for an example. If you're racist, I don't care how old you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, you know, they grew up in a racist society. Therefore, I mean, how can you don't ever expect them to not be racist? I don't care. I don't care. You had a lifetime to fucking figure it out. You never wanted to. You're bad. I get to judge you for that, though. You don't get to tell people, you don't get to tell women, yeah, just get over it and settle for a man that is emotionally unaware and emotionally unavailable. No, that's dangerous. You're putting her in harm's way.
Instead of asking a man what he feels about something, ask him what he thinks about it. Because a man.
Oh my God. Not the men are more logical.
About something, ask him what he thinks about it. Because a man thinks on logic and facts, bases things on what he knows he can provide and what he knows he can do. It's literally that simple. Men and women are wired way differently. And then also at the same time, when are all the nice guys, the ones that are putting the effort in, the ones that are actually trying to feel their feelings, when are they not going to finish last?
As if he cares about those men, but those men are not finishing last, sir. They're not. They're first in line. They have options. The men that know how to feel feelings and talk and communicate, yeah, they're first in line with women. Number one draft picks.
I don't know if that'll ever happen in my lifetime. Nice guys always finish last.
He's not a nice guy. That's basically what he's saying.
And it's because women have a toxic expectation of men that are nice, calling them too nice, expecting them to be something that they're not.
He's trying to find some way to make that make sense.
Why don't we just love everyone for exactly who they are?
I don't love racists. I don't love misogynists. I don't love homophobics. Actively homophobic people. I don't love people that want to do other people harm. I don't gotta love a liar. I don't have to love abusers. No, I refuse. And it looks like so do the women, and good for them.